there you have it. The coxswain's laying down.
You got a little bit of bounce to the water there. You can see the stake boat in the back there. Just a little bit of bounce around there, just waiting to get alignment. You can see the person lying down in the stake boat is moving Navy towards the stern. The aligning official is making sure the bows are even, and we have a start.
We are off in our fifth and final race of the morning. Syracuse lane 1, Navy lane 2, Cornell lane 3. This is our fifth race, the Varsity Fours.
Now, good rowing, coming away, nice conditions, not perfect, but as close as you're going to get at this time in the morning. Very good looking. Look like Syracuse is overstroking the other crews, maybe just 1 or 2 strokes higher. And they're out to a little bit of a lead. They've got about a deck or so. Again, these are the guys at the lower boats. I was talking to their coaches earlier in the week. They were feeling that the 4 was actually going pretty well. It's tough to get the 4 line up together because guys are getting injured in the upper crews. They're going to shift in and out, etc. But they had a selection process for this, and clearly it was the right 4 because they're looking pretty good. They've got about half a length up on Navy and maybe a full length on Cornell. They are rowing nicely together. You can see the oars moving in sync in all 4 crews. All 3 crews. Little bit slow at the catch for the 3-man from Syracuse. Just a tad, but nice and quick to the water, the bowman. So we don't have an angle that we can really see where the crews are, relative speaking, but it looks like Syracuse has got about half a length. In terms of ratings, the crews look Syracuse has definitely settled down a little bit. We're probably rowing in the 34 range. And it looks like Navy may be coming back on them a little bit. Again, tough to tell from the angle. It does look like Navy's coming back. Cornell seems to be fading just a little bit as they enter into the second 500.
Navy looking to come away with 1 win today. They'll need to win this one because Syracuse won the first, second, and third varsity races. Cornell won the 4V. So if Navy's going to take anything away from this meet, they've got to find it in the 5th varsity 4.
Yeah, it's coming pretty close. Navy is definitely moving on Syracuse in that second 500. We're going to be coming up to the breakwater in another 150 meters or so. And it looks like Navy may be pushing ahead here. So Syracuse is supposed to get all their work done in the middle 1,500 of the race, from 250 gone to 250 to go. And it looks like Navy's really taking advantage. And because it's such a deep program.
Well, I was just about to ask you that. I mean, competitive depth is definitely what Navy has. You said at times they'll put 8 boats in the water during practice, and they get a lot of walk-ons because think about it. You're at Navy. You have to stay fit. What better way than to sign yourself up for the rowing team?
And, Navy, water, Severn, they look at that. It looks very glamorous until you get out on the Severn, and it's like rowing whitecaps in 40 miles an hour, and power boats are going by, and fishing boats are there and whatnot. But as you said, you've got guys in the 7th 8, the 8th 8, the 6th 8, all pushing to get into that. And Syracuse has got 5 8s. A couple guys are injured, so these are like, and believe me, I mean no disrespect by this. Anybody who can row at a program like this is getting it done. These are guys who are committing, but they are 4 of the last 8 guys in the program, as opposed to Navy. They're 4 of the last 40 guys.
Pack.
Yeah, exactly. So Navy's clearly opened up an advantage here as they go through the 1,000-meter mark. Syracuse hanging into second. Cornell a little bit further back. Cornell, again, looks like they're understroking just a little bit, rowing a few strokes per minute less. Navy's looking pretty composed here. You look at the stern of the boat, it is bobbing up and down a little bit more than I'd like to see. Means they're not being quite as efficient as you might expect. But, overall, they look calm and composed. Syracuse still has contact. You see the bowman from Syracuse look over, and they're hoping to get a boost from the crowd. The stroke is a little bit slow getting the blade in the water. I know the coaches are going to be working on that. I think that might actually be a little bit of the difference here. When you're a little bit late to the catch, your weight goes into the stern of the boat and kind of sinks the boat down to the water. You can see that Syracuse in the white boat on the far side, that stern is bobbing up and down a little bit more than you'd like to see. Looks like Cornell is moving up a little bit. Looks like Navy's actually moved out in this third 500. Again, this is going to be something that the lower boat coaches are really going to work on from Syracuse. But Navy's depth is clearly coming through here. Looking pretty sharp. they're at a comfortable lead with coming up on the 500 meters to go. Syracuse comfortably in second, or uncomfortably because they're not feeling very good at this point that they're behind. Navy's got a little bit of open water. I would expect that the coxswain for Syracuse is going to call up the sprint about the 500 meter mark, because they're going to have to do something major if they're going to have to pull out a Nick Cole sprint like the Italians did at the World Cup if they want to make this happen. But Navy looks pretty confident. If you look at him, we were talking earlier in the broadcast about it, just looks relaxed and easy and a little bit boring. Navy looks like they're just kind of out for a row. Obviously, they're working really hard. Their heart rates are about 195 beats a minute. They're well through that pain tunnel, but they can see the light at the end of it. And somehow it just hurts just a tiny bit less if you're in the lead than if you're a length back and you're probably not going to catch them. But you got to keep pressing all the way to the finish. Navy's opened up with the last 200 meters to go. They've opened up their lead. We have, as we talked earlier, this is kind of a parade here. And the key thing for the guys in the second and third place boats here is to just stay focused, keep doing what you're doing, make sure that you're rowing as well as you possibly can. Take away from this that you've got to perform better in early strokes so you can get out in front, stay with the crews like Navy. Navy's 5V is looking pretty darn impressive here. They still have a lot of gas left in the tank as they're able to row nice and clean all the way through to the finish line. Look pretty efficient. Blade timing is looking pretty good. So kudos to the midshipmen for really putting it together in this 5v4. And again, it's great to see guys who are in the lower boats actually get a chance to compete. So the midshipmen, these guys will be going home with a Syracuse shirt and a Cornell shirt. So kudos to the midshipmen.
Yeah, Rob Friedrichs, Varsity 4, takes the 5th race this morning, crossing the finish line in convincing fashion. And it's Syracuse that holds on for second. And the Big Red in third.
What a great morning of rowing, a great competition. All three teams were able to win one race.